Welcome back everyone to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at data sources and transformations. This is kind of more of a part 2 of the series, and we're going to look at how to get in Pandas data frames into our bokeh visualizations, as well as looking at some other ways to utilize different types of data with bokeh. So let's go on and get started by creating up a new file here. And I'm going to save this as something like, let me actually go through and put this in the right place here. And we'll do something like, whoops, I want to create something new. Actually, let me go in and open this up in something else. Let me grab, I want my bokeh project here. And I don't want this, I want something new. So let's go on and create up another new file here, and let's save this as something like a bokeh data sources 2.py. And let's go on and kind of get in some of our basic imports that we want. So first off, we're going to do something from bokeh plotting. We're going to import here figure and show. And then we also want to go on and get in, and I'll show you guys, I guess, some sample data in here. So, because bokeh comes with a very large set of data, so we'll do something from, so import bokeh.sample data. And I will actually go in and run this as bokeh.sample data.download, and we'll and you know what, let me go on and actually just run this, and you guys can kind of see what it will actually do. This is actually going to run quite a few different data sets in here, as you can see in here. So this is everything from some U.S. counties data sets, cities data sets, some unemployment, some stock data, Gapminder data as well, and we're going to go through, and also the airports data, a database for movies, airport data, routing data, as well as some other data sets as well, and we'll be using these throughout the series as well. So if you want to go on and download them, it'll be very helpful to us to kind of keep them with us, and we should be able to, let me see, it actually put it in the bokeh folder, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to go on and I'm going to comment this out for now because we already have that downloaded, and we will go through and create up some more data. So if we want to, we can say something like from bokeh, and if we want to grab in a specific data set, we can. So we'll do our sample data.iris. So this is the standard iris data set, and we'll say import, and again we'll do flowers, and I'm going to mask this as a DF for data frame. So we can also then do our basic source. So source here is going to be our and I actually need to go on and import that as well. I forgot. So we need to import our source as well. So from, let me put that here. So from bokeh.models, import ColumnDataSource, and then here we will do ColumnDataSource, and again we're going to wrap that data frame in there, and then we're also going to go on and make our plot. Now again, this is our standard way of making source data. Now you can also, and I'll show you this in a second, that there is a way to do automatic conversion as well. But I have a tendency to like to use this source just to make sure that everything kind of comes clean. So P here is equal to figure. We'll make our figure, and we'll do our plot width here, and let's say that we want it to be 500. Our plot height here, we'll make it, let's make it a square, 500, And then let's go on and add in our circle plot. And we want petal length. We also want here petal width. Source here is going to be source. And then let's go on and show our plot. And I will also, just to kind of show you guys that this is a data frame, I'll do something like print df.head, and I'll make sure, and just for everything, import pandas as PD. And so let's go and run this. And here, going back here, you can see that this is our head of our data set. And here, again, we have our sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and also the species. And so then here we actually have our nice plot. And I'll zoom in on that just a little bit so we can see everything. And you can see here that we do have everything that is created. Now let's go on and do, again, this is done with just a pandas data frame. Okay, so we can see here that this is a pandas data frame. And actually maybe what would have been better is if I had typed this out and do something like a type of df here, and I can run that as well just to show you guys. So here, again, we can see that this is that it is importing a pandas data frame. So then if those of you that say, oh, well, you didn't really import data, well, technically it would be something very similar to pd.read CSV, I don't know, flowers.csv here, and make this into df. Okay, so it's the same thing as this here. So let's go on and actually create up another example, and let me go on and I'll delete this out here, and let's do a little bit of cleaning. And instead of iris data, let's go on and what data do we want to grab? You know what? Let's go on and actually just redo this iris data. So what we will also do, so instead of using this source, column data source here, we can actually, in this instance, we can delete it. And Bokeh does have the way to kind of automatically source the data. So P here is equal to figure, and again, we'll do plot width. And again, we're just doing the exact same plot. But again, just to kind of show you guys that we can use this without actually using that column data source format. Circle here, and we'll do petal length, petal width, source here, and instead of using the source, we're just going to throw in df, and then we will show our plot as well. Let's go and run this. And you see here that it still plots everything out exactly the same as it had done previously. Okay, so that's actually quite good. Now let's go on and maybe talk about some other transformations that we can do. We'll kind of play with this just a little bit. So let me go on and create up a new file, and let me clear this out. And let's create up a new file, and so let's call this bokeh data transformation 2 .py. And so again, from bokeh.plotting, we're going to import figure and show. We want to import pandas as PD. We want what? From a bokeh bokeh palettes. We're going to import a category, and we want 20 C. Okay, and then we also want from bokeh.transform, we're going to import cumulative sum. And then let's also do X here, and we're going to create a dictionary. And so we'll have United States here to be something like 158. We'll have, whoops, and this is in with the function format, so it's equal sign here. Why don't you like the United States in there? It's fine. And then we will do something like United Kingdom is equal to something like 94 here, and then we'll do something like Japan is equal to, and we'll do something like 89. We'll have China is equal to something like what, 62. Germany is equal to 44. We'll do India, and again, I'm just putting in just some random numbers in here. It doesn't necessarily matter what we want to do with it, and I'm actually just gonna leave it there for now. And it doesn't have to be a full set of data here. So data is equal to pd dot series here, and we're going to take x in dot reset our index. The name here is going to be value, and then we need to rename this. We want our columns here to equal index and country. And what else do we want in here? And this actually needs to be a dictionary. All right, so let's do something like data color, and we're going to create up a data palette in here. And this will be something like, we'll take this category C that we created here, and then it'll be the length of X, and this will actually grab up however many colors that we actually want in here, and it'll actually just give it to us. And then we'll do something like, we want to reset or represent each value as an angle. Okay, so how do we represent this as an angle? Oh, and by the way, we're going to be creating, my enemy of all things is a pie chart. Okay, but again, a lot of people like to be able to create pie charts, so it's important to kind of show you guys that. So we will grab our data here, and we're going to create an angle, and this is actually the value, and then we want to divide that out by the data of the value of the sum of those values, and then we want to multiply that by 2 pi. And multiply by pi. Multiply by pi. And I need to actually import pi. So let me take this up to the top. From math import pi. All right, next up is we need, and let me, those of you following along, I'll give you a little bit of space there. And so let's go on and create up our figure here. So create the figure. So P here is figure. We want the plot height here to be 400. We want the title to be here pie chart, and I'll put something like a country pie chart. Why not? And then we also want to have to actually hide that toolbar. None. Tools here, we're going to have hover. And then we also want in tooltips, and tooltips, please, here, and it'll be something like at the country, and then we want at that value. Make sure I reset that the value. Okay. And then we're actually going to do P, and then to make a pie chart, we use the wedge. Okay, and so with that we have x here is going to be 0, y here is going to be 1, radius here is going to be 0.4, and then we need to actually do, we'll use cumulative sum here. Okay, whoops, and I do not want you there. Okay, so let's go on and do that. So we do our start angle is the cumulative sum here, and we want the angle included 0 here, we want true, and then we want the end angle in here, and we want the cumulative sum here of the angle. Okay, and we do not include the 0 in there. And then we have the line color in here, and we're going to set this to white, and then we're going to also go on and have some fill color in here, and it'll be color. And again, remember we created up that color with the palette. And then we will also do legend field, if I remember correctly, and this will be country because we want it and then the source here is going to be our data. And then we need a couple more things that we need to go on and do here, and we want to change and get rid of our axis labels. So we're going to set this to none. And then we want p dot, we want p dot axis dot visible is equal to false. And then we want p dot grid line color is equal to none. Now again, the reason we're doing all of this stuff here is to make sure and that everything, again, we're setting it, the center of it at this x and y axis is at 0 and 1. And again, we're telling it exactly how big we want the radius. So then we actually need to get rid of all of the lines and everything, otherwise it would look like a horrible mess. So then let's go on and show this. For some reason, this needs to be over. All right, so I'm hoping everything's going to be okay. So let's take a look. It still did not like this for some reason. Why? I know you can do that. Is it because I have in the... Alright, then let's change this. This will be US. This will be UK. This is just going to be Japan. For some reason, that really shouldn't be a problem, but it is. That's fine. It's not exactly long. So let's rerun this. All right, and so now you actually see here that we have a plot here with all of our countries that we had, and we have the numbers that we actually built in. And again, so we could take this and we may redo this later on with maybe the Gapminder data or something to have a little bit of fun with it as well. Let's go on and maybe do one more with our transformation with our linear CMap. Again, just so that we can kind of play with transformations a little bit more. So let's go on and create a new one, and we'll do, let's save this as bokeh transformation 3.py. And so let's go on, and this is actually a relatively popular visualization that people create. So we'll do something like from bokeh.js plotting, we're going to import in here our figure and show. We're also going to, from bokeh.transform, we're going to import a linear CMap, and then we're also going to import in here, what do we want? We want NumPy. Import NumPy as NP. I think we should be good here. So n is going to be 4,000. Here, let's create a data dictionary here, and we'll do x is equal to np.random. Our size here is n. Multiply by 100. Y. I don't want yield. That's not what I wanted it to do. Cancel. Exit. Okay. So then, let's do y, and it's going to be np.random. Size is equal to n. Multiply by 100. We're just going to go on and copy this, and we'll do it one more time. And this here, we're going to be is r, and we want to change this to 0.5, so that we have our data. So then let's go on and do p is equal to figure, and we're just going to leave it as the basics, p dot circle here, and we want x, y, radius here is r, source is going to be data, and then the fill alpha is going to be 0.5, and then we're going to create our color here, and we're going to do our linear CMap, and we are going to say something like x, and we want Verdelis, or Verdis, 256, and then we'll set this at what? 0, 100. And then we'll do show p. Now this should give us kind of like a little bit of a bubble type looking thing, and what did it not like? Oh, whoops. My fill alpha with an A. So again, you can see here, this is a relatively kind of classic visualization that we have here. But again, what we're using is we're using that CMap in order to kind of create a nice color scheme and color flow going on in there. And again, we could turn off and turn on the color bar here if we want to as well. And we can go on and use the log color scheme as well if we're doing something with log. So this is going to be the end for this one. If you guys like this, please comment, subscribe, and hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.